Hi guys, I think I am live. it's it's pretty new to me. This platform is pretty new to me. I'm usually on a different platform, so this is pretty new. We're just waiting for some persons to join. I'm usually on a different platform, usually celebrating in a different way this live and sharing with you guys in a different way. So I'm not used to this. I'm just figuring things out. um I'm just trying to figure things out on my screen right now. mm, because I'm not used to this section, but I'm here and I'm ready to chat with you guys. I'm ready. Are you ready? If you're ready, drop it in the chat. Let me see you. Let me see that you're here. I'm pretty new to just going live like this. Normally, I would get a notification, but I'm here and I finally figured out how to get it on like this, and I'm ready to chat with y'all. So let me know that you're here. Drop it in the chat. Say here. Let me know that you're. Oh, hey, Carl. You're here. You know, Carl, you deserve a prize. You're always here and you're always early. You deserve a prize for real. You do. You do. You really do deserve a prize. Um, so we're here, Positive Nation. My name is Ayana Suku. Yana Positive to you. And we're here to talk about, you know, the truth about breakup. It's as the different different loss, but the same grief. And we're here to talk about that process. We're here to talk about it. So I'm just waiting for others to join in just a minute. But tell me how you guys are. Tell me how you've been. What's popping? Are you shopping? Okay, that was a stupid one. But what's been up? I'm wearing my glasses today. I don't usually wear my glasses, but I'm wearing it today because the light in my eyes. I just can't tonight. Not tonight. But we're here to have a little chat. And I'm just getting ready to have this conversation with you. This was a highly requested topic. This was something that persons wanted me to talk about for a long time. I've been getting of how I would do this, and I'm doing it on a live nonetheless. Oh my gosh, I'm doing this on a live. Can you believe this? I can't believe it. I don't even know how I'm gonna react to this topic, to be honest. I don't even know what I'm gonna say. But I jot some stuff down, and for those who know me, I'm not a big fan of jotting stuff down. But I actually did because I wanted to see how I would react. Um how I would react. I wanted to know that I could stay on point and not go off on a tangent. So I'm here to talk about different loss, same grief. We're here to talk about the truth about breakups. And we've all been through them. Let me talk bigger man to bigger man, big people to big people, big man and woman to big man and woman. We're here to talk about it. And to be quite honest with you, it's something that is interesting. It's something that is important because we all have been through it, or we're all going through it at one point in time, and it's something that needs to be voiced and needs to be looked at. Because at first we think, okay, so it's not a big deal, it's not a big thing to talk about, but then we feel the effects of it and we don't know how to deal with it, which is why I'm here on this platform. It's called Speak Your Truth, the Untold. So if you're just joining me, remember to like this video, and of course leave a comment in the chat. Comments are always welcome because we're here to chit chat. Carl is saying, stressing if you care, if you don't, it's right. So it's the ones that you care about that really hits hard, especially when it's a first big breakup and it's huge and you're just like, I never expected to feel this way. Ja. And the feeling is just, it's just so much and you don't know what to do with it, that sometimes people never get over it, never get over their first breakup, and they continue living their lives like that. Right, so we're gonna talk about it tonight. We're gonna talk about the grieving process when we're looking at breakups and no makeups. So here's a question for you. Have you ever gone through a major breakup? Like the kind of breakup you don't feel like you could come back from? The kind of breakup that you feel like scarred you? The kind of breakup where you feel down and out? Have you guys ever been through? Yep. Carl say yep. He's been through a breakup like that. And I'm telling you, it's not easy. I'm gonna relate it to my experience. I think that's what pulls most of my knowledge from. I can pull most of my knowledge from. Um, the thing about breakups, I didn't realize. Hey, crazy intellectual, nice to see you here. Welcome, welcome, welcome. The thing about breakups that I didn't realize until I went through my first big breakup was that you go through the grieving process. You go through what we call a grieving process. And in school we learn about it, as in, like, you know, the steps of denial, depression, anger, bargaining, and acceptance. And it sounds like a mouthful. I mean, you go through it and you hear about grief and you think about mourning, you think about death, but you don't think about the fact that you go through a breakup and you go through the same grieving process. And trust me, it is not pretty, it's not easy. And for a lot of people, they bypass it as, oh, you go through a breakup, everybody goes through one of those, you get over it. But some people never come back from it, which is why we're having this conversation and we're keeping it very real and we're speaking our truth, because we need this space and this platform to just be real and just have our feelings all out there and be. You go through what we call the grieving process, and the first step is denial. I was really shocked about it. And I remember I went to a therapist, and my therapist was saying that the same process that I'm going through, the same emotions that I'm feeling, and everything I'm telling her that I'm experiencing right now is the same thing that somebody who has lost someone and come to her and says the exact same thing. So the same thing I was experiencing. Um, the first step is denial. Denial is no joke. Denial, I think, is the hardest part personally. With denial, it's like you know that it happened, but your mind and your body doesn't accept it. So you see, your brain is functioned in a way that it takes notes of your habits. It takes note of your whatever you do. It takes notes of that. So it's like a map, right? And you would have this person in your life that you form habits around that you do things with, that you be things with. You get up in the morning and you text them. You get up at night, you spend the whole night on the phone with them on a call. Your brain maps, hey, this is something that Sinead does or something that Carl does, and your brain uh, has it like that. Okay, this is the map, this is her life. So when that person leaves and you no longer have the ability to call or text and talk to them, man, your brain is just, it cannot accept the fact that they're gone. So you know it happened, they know it happened, but your body doesn't accept it, your mind doesn't accept it. And what happens is that, let me put it in simple terms for you. When you go to bed at night, you may dream about them. So you're thinking about it so much, you're dreaming about it. I remember not wanting to go to bed. I spent a couple of days where I didn't sleep any at all because I didn't want to go to bed because I didn't want to dream about it. I remember, and even that period in the morning, when you get up, hey Keaton, when you get up in the morning, your brain is a bit foggy, and the first thing you think about is, oh, I'm gonna text this person. And when your mind clears, you realize, oh my gosh, I can't text them, and reality hits. So that's the denial phase. It's like, you know it happened, but your body and your mind cannot accept that it happened. Situations might happen to you. You take up your phone, or you're on your way to tell them about it, and you realize, oh crap, I can't do that anymore. We're no longer together. So that denial phase, it's pretty hard because it's frustrating. You know it happened, him know it happened, she know it happened, but your mind just would not accept it. And the thing about this grief process is the only way out is through. So you have to all these emotions and all this feely in order to get out on the other side. That was frustrating for me because I just wanted to just through and just be past this stage so I could sleep, and I could not think like that. Like, he's still here, or you could not think that she's still there, right? And then we have the depression phase. Man, this is when the thoughts come, the dark thoughts, like, am I not good enough? What was wrong with me? And you start to think about it like there's something wrong with you that caused this breakup in the first place. And then you think about you start thinking about crazy thoughts, like you start thinking of how it is that this happened in the first place, why these things always happen to me, why people always leave me, and you start thinking about it as a pattern. And I see a comment, but I don't know how to activate live chat on this, okay, all right. So Crazy Intellectual said, two people come together and become something new. The things you do, the things you eat, the things you wear, and then you lose half, and you feel, and you can feel it. It's almost unbearable, and that's so true. Because you see, when you come together in a relationship, you start to form habits with that person, and you start to form connections with that person, do everything with that person, and all of a sudden, you standing alone in that relationship, it should be like this, but you standing alone in that relationship is something that you're not used to. So there are things, there are habits that you're used to, and when that habit and those things and those comforts, everything is gone, the pain is unbearable. I tell you, it's unbearable to feel this way. And you feel depressed, and you feel like, oh, I'm not gonna find anybody else. Treasure, put it down. What you doing? No. And you feel that you're not gonna find anybody else, and you feel like this was all my fault, and why does everybody always do this to me? And you think about these thoughts, and they get really deep, and they get really dark. And it was at that point I realized that I need some help. I can't go on like this. And that was for me the turning point. What was the real climax though? Treasure. It's a touches. And you may talk. No. Sorry guys. The sitting isn't fun. And what was a real turning point for me was the anger stage. It was when I started to get angry at the person. I started to get angry at people around me. People who never do me nothing from me bad. I started to get angry. And thing was happening to me. I couldn't control my emotions. I like to be in control. I like to plan. I'm a planner. Me plan things to the T. And if something goes wrong, I always have a plan B, plan C, plan D, plan all the plans. But this was something I did not plan for. This was something that was thrown my way, and these emotions, I couldn't handle it. So I got so upset, and I started to think about it and think about it. And the thing about um I'm not sure what your breakup would have looked like, but the thing about my breakup is that I did not get a solid explanation. It wasn't like at that time I thought it would have been better if I had seen him with somebody else or he had been with somebody else. Then I would have an explanation. I would say, oh, he found somebody else, maybe he fell in love, and I just wasn't enough for him at that point. But there was no logical explanation. So my mind is trying to wrap itself around the fact that this person is gone, but I don't have a reason why they're gone. I don't have a reason to give my brain. And so I was still stuck in this whirlpool of emotions and I just couldn't get out. I started to get angry at the person. I'm like, I've been together so long and you're remembering all the things that you did and you're saying, I don't deserve this. I deserve at least an explanation. I got so mad. I remember it was almost as if I would explode about and I recognize that anger as something that persons do every day in their lives. And I recognize it as something that 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 stays with you for the rest of your life. Now, in school, we learn about the stages of development, right? Eric Erickson. Stay with me, stay with me. I won't get too technical on you. And there's a stage, I think it's stage 6, where we develop intimacy versus isolation. That's a stage where we decide if we want to be with someone else or we want to be by ourselves, right? And at that stage, if we have a breakup so big, sometimes we get stuck at that stage and we never move on. And the next stage is, I think, generativity, that big word, versus stagnation. It just means that either you develop or you don't. So because some people get stuck at the relationship phase, uh, stage in their development, they never move on and they remain stagnant for the rest of their lives. And I've seen it so many times and I didn't recognize it until I started get feeling that anger myself. I felt this rage, like the world was throwing me something and I did not deserve it. Like if I could fight back with my fist and my hand, I would fight back. And I didn't know where to put that rage. And I recognize it as something that I see in a lot of big people around me, a lot of persons around me. They go through a bad breakup in their lives and they never move on from it. They never have a successful relationship after that. They never move to develop themselves, move to build a house or get their dream. They never move after that. All they stay on is the fact that, you know, man are wicked and woman are wicked. Life being hurt and hurting everybody else around them, and they say hurt people, blah. I recognize that anger, no treasure. I recognize that anger in so many persons around me that I did not want that for myself. And at that point I decided I need to seek help because I couldn't do this on my own, and there was no way I was going to do this. Guys, don't feel afraid to talk back to me, share your own experiences, share what it was like for you, because I know that you would have gone through something similar, and this is just a safe space for us to share. You notice I'm just sharing how I was feeling, what I was going through. At the time I was really angry, and when I went into counseling, I remember telling her that I don't want to be this person to be angry the rest of my life. I feel it ruin people to the point where 10 years later they might tell about the man who went give them a jacket, the woman who went give them a jacket, or the man who went cheat on them. I don't want that rage. I don't want it. I want to put it away. I want it to go somewhere else. I don't want it in me. And that's when I realized I couldn't do. I was trying to self heal and it wasn't working. Watching videos, reading, trying to put myself on a positive path, it wasn't working. I needed help and professional help at that, and I decided to get it. And the next stage was bargaining, and this was where this didn't exactly come in order. I remember when I was feeling a little bit down and out and going through depression, uh, I started wondering, and bargaining is asking questions like, if I did this, would that have happened? And the way it happened was that I pushed this conversation. And what happened was that when you're in a relationship, sometimes you know it's going to end, but you don't want to accept it. And that was the case. When you look back in hindsight, when you look back at the things that used to happen, you realize that, oh, I just seen you guys comments, so then they saying projection, and Carl is saying no explanation will be good enough, none. And it's mind, so then he's saying it's mind blowing when we get to see how practical these theories are when we become applicable to our own situation. And yes, I was, when you study it in school and then you see it in your daily life and you're like, this is nothing compared to what I study. Like, I'm reading this on a piece of paper and I feel like, okay, this is how I'm gonna help somebody else. But you don't think about, what if I'm in this situation? How do I help myself? And you realize when you're in this situation that you can't really help yourself. Actually. Uh, Sunani says that actually I self-help through guided coaching. If you figure out you can't do it alone, get help. And indeed, you have to do part of the work yourself. And if you're okay with helping yourself and having somebody coach you along the way, that's fine. But if you realize that you're about to fall off the edge, like you could harm yourself and you could do something really bad to somebody else, you get help. You get serious professional help. Um, and I realized that I needed that. With bargaining now, I was saying that maybe it's my fault for a while, and I was saying maybe I pushed him too hard. Um, at the time he was working couple jobs and he wasn't spending any time at all with me, and no matter what I said, okay, 1 day a week or 1 hour per week, he wouldn't. And I would argue about that, like, why can you play a game but you can't spend an hour with me? Why can you go out and do football but you can't spend an hour with me? That don't make no sense. Like, why can't you go to this practice and that and you can't spend an hour with me? Why is it that when we have an argument that you don't even want to see me or text me back, and if I don't, you don't? And I keep telling myself that maybe if I hadn't pushed him like that, it would have happened. Or maybe if I didn't do it on that night, because at that night it was election night and we had both work, tired, and I'm like, all I want to do is tell him, but I can't because he's been ghosting me for a while. He's not texting me, he's not calling me, doesn't want to see me. And this is a person I'm supposed to be in a relationship with, and I can't tell him about my day. I came home tired and I just wanted to call him and to feel okay or talk about my day or talk about experiences. And I couldn't because he didn't want to talk to me. He didn't want to text me. And I kept telling myself that maybe if I had pushed it that night when we were both tired, then it would not have happened. So there are things that come in your mind and you start blaming yourself, like, oh, this is my fault. Oh, I should have done that. And Carly said most people though won't want to be vulnerable around anyone else, even if it's to help you. And I agree with that. I'm gonna tell you a story not to scare you, but to show you that you have to know who to trust and who to put your trust in, because at that point I trusted and then after bargaining we have acceptance. I remember when I was visiting one of my friends and that just happened, and a mutual friend of ours, she asked, how is so and so? And before I could answer, my friend say, him dead. And we connected together and we laughed. But the truth is that when I finally accepted it, it felt like he had died for real. Like, we talk about different loss, but the same grief. And I tell you that the only way out is through. And he was dead to me for real. Like when people say he's dead, it felt like it was a totally different person that was in love with him. It felt like it was somebody else that was in a relationship with him, not me. He was dead to me for real. And it sounds harsh, but it's true. I got over it and I felt like that's the point when I know that I was gonna be okay. Like I was gonna be all right, because he didn't feel like somebody alive. He just felt like somebody that had passed on. I went through the grieving process and now I'm ready to move on with my life. That's how it felt. So then you're dead. But that's how it felt. Um so when you finally accept it, you will realize that you are no longer bitter. I was no longer angry. I realized that I wasn't about to break up with him, and it would have gone on and I would have made some stupid mistakes that would have been the worst mistake of my life. And I was grateful for his decision. I was actually grateful for it. So at first I was angry. I was like, this person that I've been with for years and you just pick up and drop me like that. Like I don't even matter. And the thing that irked me at the time too was the fact that he he actually, when we're on the phone arguing, he said to me, I love you and I will never leave you. And I remember when the it was raining that day, and so the internet cut off, and by the time we reconnected and went on, that was him breaking up with me. So before the call, that was him saying, I will never leave you, I love you and I will never leave you. And after we reconnected, the call reconnected, that's him breaking up, that I don't think this is gonna work out. I'm saying, whoa, hold on, did you just say I love you and I will never leave you? And so that messed me up a bit. At the time I remember thinking that if somebody can do that to you, then what else can they do? Like, there's a limitless how much a person can betray you. And I thought back to even 2 weeks before, we're at his church and he was saying to his friends, oh, she's the best thing that ever happened to my life. Me sit on there like a good little flower, they know, be a blush and something, my cheek them well red up. And me feel nice in myself because me the best thing whatever happened to him. And it sounded like a proposal to his friends. Uh, and I thought that the next step would have been an engagement, but that would have been a horrible mistake. And to be honest, to be really honest with you guys, acceptance is liberating. And as a student is saying that, let me see. You have to see with me, guys. I'm not used to this going live like straight off the bat. Say, that of the person as being dead, and that's true. It sounds hard true. So then it's that memory shop. I don't know if that's a slang, but memory shop door, shop door. Oh, shop, as in, oh, sorry. Yeah, I remember things in detail. That's the thing about me. That's why it's so hard for me to get over things at times. I remember things in extreme detail. no matter how long ago they were. Funny how people who say that are often the ones who most likely to leave. Right, crazy intellectual, when they tell you they love you and they will never leave, I'm just like, keep. You know what? Better off, don't give me no promise at all. Just keep them. Ah, sharp. All right, crime. Me get you sharp. But it's true. It's true. If we're being totally honest about it, we're not being a cynic here. We're not being down and out about it. But we're just recognizing that sometimes when people tell us they love us and they'll never leave, don't exactly take that as, oh, he loves me and he'll never leave. Yeah, because everybody is human and they have a fault and they have a flaw, right? So we went through like the stages of grief. So I went through a whole denial. I went through depression, anger, bargaining, and acceptance. And I'm finally at a place where I accepted that this was what happened. That's what I learned from the grief process. But here's another thing I learned, and I think I told someone I was gonna tell you this. Carl, friends, good friends, better than pocket money. Let me just say this. I had some really good friends, let me tell you, that pull me through, that text me and call me and say, hey sis, I'm checking up on you. Hey, I'm just checking up on you, Yana. How are you doing? I mean, not everybody knew about it, thank God. It was a very public relationship. That's one thing I don't like. No, is I like to keep my private life private. My personal life that way private, and certain things can be public, but this is something I prefer to be private because I experienced what a public relationship breakup was like, and it was horrible. But not everybody knew because it was friends, good friends. You need good friends to pull you through. And there are days when I felt like, oh my gosh, I just could not. The emotions, I just could not. And I call on, like, is this how you felt? I don't know if I can handle this. I don't know how I'm gonna get up from this anymore. And he was like, you're gonna get about public relationship. It's almost like a divorce and people take sides, right? And a lot of people that I expected to have my back, not necessarily to take sides, but not not to bash me. They were actually the ones. When it's not gonna work like that. Uh, oh yeah, I just seen Carl's comment. When I hear whole promises, like, that's a red flag for me. Show don't tell, right? You need to show in your actions. But at the time, I was like, no, 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 you can't break up with me. You can't break up with me. We've been together too long for this. I've invested too much in this relationship for you to break up with me right now. And I said, just wait, just give me one more chance. So I called in somebody to mediate. And I thought this person would have been perfect because we were both friends with her, or that's what I thought at least. And we're there telling her, so how you would have mediation. So you tell her your side, he tells his side, and that sort of thing. And it didn't work. Obviously, it didn't work because he said he would take a 1 week break, and it was torture for me. And and after the 1 week break, I thought that okay, he's gonna come back. He's gonna come back. We can't be broken up. He's gonna come back. At that point, I didn't accept it. And when he was like, "No, it's not gonna work for me. I'm sorry, but I'm like, just give me an explanation. Why?" And he was like, "Oh, I'm just not happy. I just not happy." And I'm like, you were happy 2 weeks ago. What happened in between? What did I do? Did I do something? And he was like, "No, it's, I'm just not happy." So what happened was that with this person now, she was probably the first to know about it, and I messaged her and I was like, he just doesn't want a relationship anymore. It's like, okay, cool, you can get through this. And after that, she messaged me and she was like, a few months ago, she messaged me and she said, I must apologize to you. I'm like, why? What did you do? And she said, when when you guys had the breakup, I stopped talking to you because I thought you were playing the victim. And I'm like, what gave you that impression? Some things you were posting on your status. And I never post anything about the breakup. I watched a YouTube. I was so desperate to get over these emotions that I started watching YouTube videos. And one video told me that I need to express gratitude daily. I googled how to get over a breakup. That's how desperate I was. And it told me I needed to express gratitude daily. So stuff I was posting on my status like, I'm grateful for my family, I'm grateful for my friends. And it really wasn't helping, but I was trying. I was trying to get over these emotions. And she was like, you're playing the victim. And that felt like a shock to me because I didn't even notice that she stopped talking to me. I was so preoccupied with trying to get over. Sorry guys, there was a bee on my foot. I was so preoccupied with trying to get over the breakup that I didn't even notice that she stopped speaking to me and she thought I was victimizing myself. And it felt like even throughout, there were people I expected to at least say, have my back and not talk bad about me. And they will know who your real friends are and you will know who your fake friends are. You will know because they will show themselves. Them showing themselves because then you know who you can trust and who you can't trust. But you only learn by trying. And this is not to deter anybody from getting help. I'm just saying that you need to know who you can trust. Shanalyn says, we have to remember that we are not all guided by the same principles. Some things we would never dream of doing to others, they will do to us without even blinking. And that's true because I'm gonna just say this, that you can be on either side. You can be the person breaking up, and you can be the person breaking somebody else, and you can be the person being and some breaking you. And the thing is, I'm gonna tell you that it's gonna happen, but there are ways to do it. You can tell the person what really went on, why is it that you're actually doing this. And I felt like what one of the things that, even though I didn't get an explanation and I needed to make one from my observation, I had to come to terms with the fact that he was something I would do to somebody else. And I also realized that he was in the space of growth where he could actually tell me the truth. And one of the truths I recognize is that his family played a big role in it, and it's not something that he would have come to terms with and told me out on his own, because that would make him a mama's boy and he wouldn't want that image. Sometimes they want to, but I recognize in accepting that it's something that he wasn't at the level to do as yet. Um, um, I'm looking at your comments, guys. Crazy Intellectual said, I didn't know about it either. When I found out and heard how you shared your experience, it gave me a bit of comfort with a similar situation. And I'm glad that that gives you comfort and that gives you a space to feel safe, because that's what it is all about. Breaks in my experience is a prelude to the breakup. He said, guys, I'm going in and out. So me. But one of the things, but people are like, what happened? And I was like, well, I don't, but I just had to say, life happens. I had to deal with person's emotions along with my own. Oh, I thought you guys were gonna last. Me too. We didn't. And there are lots of people who wanted to know, like, how did it happen? and I could not provide that information. And for me, that was like double scarring because I'm saying that. Come back. I hope. All right. Reconnect anymore. And when people show you who they are, you better believe. And that's a whole level of truth. I tell you, so many red flags. There are so many things to show me that, hey, this person is not gonna stay with you forever. But I was so dwelling on the past and what our relationship used to be that I didn't realize that what our present relationship was no way to be in a relationship with somebody. It felt like I was forcing myself to be in a relationship with somebody who didn't want to be in a relationship with me. And as I said before, like it happened about 6 months before. You always know before. He didn't want to spend any time with me. Of course, he was saying he was busy, and I didn't understand. That's always the line they use, especially when they date a little guys a little older in stage than you are. It's like when they go to university, they say, and you're in high school, they say, oh, you're not gonna understand. But when you this person, and so what I used to be, and I hope I never go back to the place where I love somebody to the point where I can't see my life without them. Right? I must be able to at least imagine an avenue where I am okay and I'm alone and I'm okay with that. Um, I see you later, crazy intellectual. I'll see you next time. Um, but one realize is that so much thing and so much more stronger than you believe you. I didn't think that I was gonna come out on the other side, but I did. I got through it and I got through it even better. And when I got through, I realized what I didn't want. I definitely didn't want in a man, and I stopped accepting these things. I definitely do not want somebody who is gonna drag me down, but somebody who will compliment me and lift me up. And I felt like I was a better person for it. It was painful, it was horrible. There were some nights where I just felt like I couldn't. I couldn't, but I did. And you are so much more stronger than you think you are. You are so much greater than you think you can be. I mean, the amount of strength that it takes a person to remap them brain, because your brain has been mapped with the habits of the other person. Okay, I get up this morning and I text them. I sleep at night. I call them before I sleep. I text them during the day. When I'm feeling bad, I text them. When I'm feeling good, I text them. Or I see them. Or I talk to them. Whatever the case is. And you have the strength to remap your brain, to find things that you have to rewire yourself to find things that you can do without them. Man, you're powerful, you're strong, you're so much more stronger. And even if you come out on the other side and a little piece of you has been chipped off, ensure it's for the better, and ensure it's not you, the heart of who you are that's chipped off, and now you're a totally different person because of this hurt. So you're going around hurting everybody else. Ensure that is not the case. It either breaks you or it makes you. As I said earlier, there's this stage, intimacy versus isolation, and some people are stuck at it for the rest of their lives. I mean, their lives are going good, and they meet a man, they meet a woman, and all of a sudden, mash up, done for, gone, bad road, rogue. But you can make it make you instead of break you. And that's the thing about these sort of things. Despite the fact that you feel as if I can't trust anybody after this, you know, I cannot, I I just cannot see myself trusting anybody after this. Be sure that it makes you a better person. Be sure that it makes you somebody who doesn't go into a relationship and jump into a relationship with somebody else and carry your past hurts in with you. And it's hard, which is why you heal first. It takes some time to heal first. People said you can take at least it's supposed to take about I think 6 to 9 months to just heal first. One can't depend on anyone else for their own happiness, even if it's as your person. And that's so true. Like we depend so much on another person for our own happiness that sometimes when that person goes or happiness goes, and that's a dangerous place to be. I wish, I hope, I pray I never get back there where I'm so solely dependent on this person for my happiness that when they leave it sucks the life right out of me and I have to go find my happiness. It should be that I have at least a piece of me preserved so that I can be happy on my own. And it's not just for when they leave, but it's for any long-term relationship. You will need to preserve a piece of yourself. You can't just merge and mesh yourself with this person to the point where you can't recognize your own skills, your own habits, what you love different from what they love. You want something that's uniquely yours. And I know one thing I learned from this is that you feel as if you're never gonna love again. You're never ever gonna meet somebody again. I remember thinking to myself that this is it for me. This is it for me. I'm never going in another relationship. I don't want anybody else. I just want to breathe. I just want to breathe. I don't want this. I can't. I remember thinking to myself that I'm gonna die old and gray and alone. And it sounds ridiculous, but that was my thought, and that was how I felt. That was sincerely, really how I felt at the moment. I don't know, some of you feel it too, though, so don't leave me over here lonely and making me feel as if I'm the only person that feels that way. But when you go through a breakup, you understandably you feel like you will never love again, but you will find love again. What's that song? I'll never love again. The Lady Gaga song. That's a sad movie. Ah, Carl says after you love again more deeply and you see and appreciate more from the next person. Yes. And you know exactly what you're looking for now. You know this is what not what I want. I don't want somebody who's not gonna make me a priority. I don't want somebody who is going to be a mama's boy. I don't want somebody who's gonna be easily confused and influenced by those person around them. I don't want this from a person. And when you get into a relationship with somebody else, you realize that you cannot love, appreciate them more, and love yourself more. I think I saw a comment from Shanae. How do you know you have healed versus healing? What are the characteristics? Awesome question. So when you know you've healed is when you can look back at the experience without feeling that rage, that bitterness. Like you want to, like you would have seen him and cuss him off or kick him down, or like you don't know how you react. Um, but you know when you've healed, when you're able to look back at the experience, you know when you've healed, when you can go into a relationship and not bring the baggage with you. So when you know you're healing, you're still healing, is when you look back and you see, even months after that, I was still very bitter, like, how can a person do this to another person? But when you've had space and distance, you realize that's just life. It's just reality. It was for the better good. And you find appreciation in it. Rather than you're healing, you're still healing. You have your good days and you have your bad with that particular situation. So you have your days when you think, oh, I've healed and I'm fine and I'm fuzzy and I'm warm and I'm blissful and I'm happy. And then there are days and nights when you feel like, why, God? Why did you make him leave? Why did he leave? And you feel all angry and depressed over what's wrong with me? Why does everybody leave me? And you're still healing. Or when you go into another relationship and you say, the last time somebody tell me that them leave me, or the last time somebody did that, oh, or you keep bringing up, so I'm not gonna do this again with anybody. I'm too old to be cheated on. I'm not going through this run around with you. The last relationship I was in, and you keep referring back to the last relationship. You're still healing. You're still healing. Because with a new relationship, you take it as it comes. You take it with this person being a new person, but you also take it with the wariness of somebody who has been through this before. You're on caution, you're on guard, but you're not going to make the other person feel bad because you've been through something similar and they could possibly put you through something similar. So you are on guard, you're cautious, you're looking out for the red flags, but at the same time, you're not dragging and making that person feel like they're crap because you've been with somebody who was crap too. You know? Shanae says I can testify to that. You can love again. And when you're feeling down and out, you're feeling like I will day in the mail, and I thought it would be good to unpack it with you guys. To unpack it with you guys. If you can guess what it is, can you guess what it is? Because you're my fan, you know? So I'm just opening the envelope, doing an unboxing. Oh, money on Carl. Degree. I spent 4 years for this. 4 years of hard work. Let's see. But I put it in a nice envelope so it can go under my mattress when I finish. And a nice folder. But in truth, because I graduated, I was there at the ceremony, I had the empty folder. And a nice folder again. But let's be fair, just in case anybody's watching this is not the professional folder. I have the folder in my room. And my dresser, the empty folder. But this is it, people. The green. Let's hear what it says. Let's hear what it says. Northern Carbon University, where nature and revelation unite in education. Bop! Me never know. Is that her motto? Me go to school for 4 years. And me never see this in my life. What is ubi sempre dissimos? I didn't see that part. I don't know what that means. I thought it was where learning never ends. On recommendation of the faculty, and by virtue of the authority tested in it by the Board of Governors, hereby confers Ayana Najat Brown Suku. You guys don't go with my name. The degree of Bachelor of Social Work, cum laude. Is it cum laude or cum laude? Cum laude. College of Humanities, Behavior and Social Sciences, with all rights, privilege, and responsibilities thereto, and appertaining in testimony whereof the seal of the university and the signatures of the president and the chairman of the board of governors are hereunto affixed, given to Manchester, Jamaica, on August 8th, 2021. Degree in FOM. Degree in social work. Come, y'all need a social worker. Yeah, that means Sudani, where learning never ends. Ubre simple. But I'm seeing something else where nature and revelation unite in education. I think they're trying to rhyme, but I thought it was where learning never ends. I seen something else. Let me read the comments. Yes, I'm degreed, people. I'm degreed. Sharing some good news with you today. Shanae, bless up. Thank you so much for sharing. You are very strong, beautiful, intelligent. Oh, don't make me cry. Beautiful, intelligent. I'm praying for your continued strength. I was blessed. Continue to inspire. Thank you, Shanae. Thanks for watching. Watch the Grease, Sudani. Yes, 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 yes. I don't know if that was on it. I never seen this before in my life. I've been to the school 7 years and I've never seen this before. But it's here. It's here, and I'm grateful. I'm grateful. Woo! I'm the great fam. This is what I worked 4 years for. Yes, this paper. I just thought I'll share a good news with you tonight because we've been talking about breakups, and I don't want it to take you out to a dark, scary place. Come back to the light. See, I'm fine. Mm, it's been probably over a year, and I'm fine. Yay! I'm happy. I am seriously happy. There are things that I did not know I could accomplish and things I did not know I could do. And I did it. I did it without having to be in a relationship. So if you're single, you're fine, fam. Take your time to heal. And if you want to get back out there, ensure you check yourself, check to see that you're not carrying any baggage going on the people in life. You're not walking with a suitcase, your lot bag. You guys know this is lot bag to the West people, right? Those from West, this is lot bag. I bought my lot bag to put it in, to put my degree in because it was raining. So I put my degree in a lot bag. But don't bring your lot bag and your baggage going to people in life. Ensure that you've healed. And next week we'll talk about ways that you can get over your breakup. So we talked about, for those just joining, talk about how what are the things that I learned personally, you learn from your experience, because I would like to hear them, because this is a safe space for you to share your truth. Yeah, positive nation. That's how we say. Yeah. So the things I learned through breakup was that you go through the grieving process, just as how you would when you lose somebody to death, you lose somebody to sickness. For a breakup, whether it's with friendship or relationships, you go through that grieving process. You go through denial, you go through depression, you go through anger, you go through bargaining, and you go through acceptance. And the acceptance is a relief. Like when you get there, it feels as if there was a pressure on your brain and somebody relieve that pressure from you. Like they open a borehole in your head. Sorry, too much Grey's Anatomy. All right, fine. Like there's so much pressure. Like there was a burden on your shoulder, and it's finally relieved and released, and you'll feel amazing. So if you're going through a breakup right now, just be encouraged that you're not gonna feel like this always. And one thing about it, you can learn from a breakup, just like how for them feelings change and them can leave you. And them used to say, "Oh, me love you, you're my one sugar plum plum, you're my bye, you're my baby," and they can get up and leave. Just as how you feel bad about loving them and love and feeling this way through the breakup, your feelings are also gonna change. That's the thing about feelings. You feel one way this minute and you feel the next that minute, but it gets you safely from one feeling to the next. And so you need to heal a little safer, fam. You need to heal a little safer. But I've also learned that you need to have good friends close for a support system, but also you need to know who to trust. Because there was a lot of people that took sides, and that side wasn't mine, and I didn't want them to be taking sides. I didn't want them to be taking sides, but they did. And I felt betrayed by that in some way. But I know who I could trust now, and so I am happy for that. You realize that you're so much more stronger. You're so much more stronger that makes you or breaks you. And though you feel like you will never love again, you will love again. You will love again. Just hopefully not the same way, the same crushing, devastating feeling that make you feel like you can't live without this person and you could never be apart. But you will love again. You will love again. I'm back. That is all for today. all for tonight, and I'll share with you. Wasn't in much of a box, but my degree. I am happy for this piece of paper. I am now a qualified social worker. There are letters behind my name. I'm very important now. It's Ayana Najat Suku. Um, is it BSc? So then he helped me out. Is it BSc? I think it's BSc because it's Bachelor's of Social Work. It's not Bachelor's of Science anymore. Social work. Maybe it's BS. You think it's BS? I don't know. That's bad. That's bad. But I have letters behind my name. That's all that matters. And it's all official and everything, guys. I'm gonna put it in the casing now and put it up. Yeah, I just put some on my dresser or something. But it was a pleasure speaking to you tonight. Thanks so much for joining. Thanks so much for watching. I think we are gonna table for part 2 tomorrow for next week, because there's a part I really want you guys to catch, and it's how to heal appropriately. And I really want you guys to just jump on for that one. So I'll get you when you're fresh and when you're hype and when you're live. The mic is hot, the camera is hot, and we are all ready. Yeah? Yeah? Okay. All right. So good night, guys. It was a pleasure having you all here. I hope these experiences and these tips help you when you go through your own breakup. And when you are breaking up with somebody, to know just to be it's gonna be hard on them either way. You're gonna have to separate yourself either way. But try to at least give them a reason as to why you're leaving, and try to be mindful of the fact that you could be on the other side as well. Yeah, because we also break people if we're taking accountability of that fact. So see you all next time, same place, Thursday at 8 for another episode. Remember to like, share, and subscribe, and leave a comment. Share with somebody who needs it, because you know they do. All right, so see you all later. Thanks for watching. Dun, 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 dun.